Alright, try that again.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around.
Fine then. We'll just do it this way. Coming on over to this instrument right here. You better take a long, hard look at this real quick here. While this stream is still resuming to go here, since I can't even do an intro with my own music. That shit's going to change here real soon. Okay. Let's just get this started for you. And while people are rolling in, since my intro got ruined by YouTube there, thankfully, you can take a little peek at what is drawing near. Okay. We don't have time to play games with copyright and all this shit so you guys can make money off of... All right, take a long, hard look at what's going on there. Meanwhile, my family, I would like to thank you guys for taking a moment of your time to be part of this precious family. All right, I was trying to do an intro there, and they keep blocking it, so fine. Copyright, whatever, song. It was a remix. It wasn't even the original, so. Duly noted. Now, back to my family. Thank you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here, even in replay, to be a part of this precious family. Okay, this is something different than any other YouTube live stream out there, okay? This is something totally different. And for those of you who belong here, you know you belong here. For others who haven't figured it out, stick around for a little while and maybe you'll latch on. Okay, as you can see, here we are, September 19th, 2024. Okay, and we got our loop playing there. And for those with eyes that see, you could see pretty clear what's going on in that one, huh? I mean, it's kind of hard to miss. And a little moon following after it, too. So we'll just let that play for a second. And you know we'll be going through this frame by frame, so hang on for a second while I just slide this down. Grab the opening frame. Whoa, way back there. Right there. Okay. Here we are. September 19th, 2024. Opening frame. You can see our little satellite here kind of pulling out of the frame right there. Moving on out. And then as we continue, you see our spire region sticking out over here. Watch this little area for a second here. As our event starts to unfold from that region, right along that spire. And I think you could possibly see our bigger object right here. A little bit back in here because you can see it going over the ridge of the sphere. And the sphere drops away on the backside, so this stuff kind of flails off. But you can see your bigger round black object right there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going. Boom. Boom. All right, to right about there. And also what I want to do here is get rid of all that stuff because I was going to show you China had a huge tornado that just ripped through there. And they also had the earthquake. We're going to have some fun watching China rock and roll. But since we can't do that thanks to China, well, then I guess we'll just have to go a different route. So what I want to do really quick here, I want to come over here. I want to pull up this other image really quick here from my archives. And just for comparison here, so you guys can see much the similar object right here. Okay, big round black object with your plasma streaking, spreading out, going around it. It's the same effect right here, just going above the sun. If you tilt your head to the left, you can see it a little bit better here. Okay, so that's your big object right there with its trailing little moon going along here. Yeah, oh, whoops. And you guys want to play games about openings and music and stuff when your time is limited? And you're playing games with me, huh? That's fun. Anyways, let's continue. As you can see, your bigger object moving on out of frame there. And then right along that spire line, that region here, comes the magnetic moon, the little other core that's really magnetized right there. Oh, and then that was it. So what I want to do though is I want to put this in motion and then speed it up a little bit because it's the motion that your eyes detect. So let's see it go by a little faster there. Yeah. Now really, let's slow it down one tick. That was just a tad bit. Right there should do the trick. Now you should be able to see that huge, massive stellar core ripping plasma off the sun and moving above the 2 o'clock position of the sun. We have bigger issues than political games to play, wars to fight, copyright strikes, blah, 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 blah. Pay attention. This is NASA's instrument. You can come over to this site and check this yourself. This is no joke. That's what's going on right there. You can see a little moon trailing along with it too. So I'll let that sit there and play for a minute so you guys can grasp the gravity of the situation here. You must be blocked. You're not blocked, Jeremy. I see you. You're doing okay. I'm doing all right. I just get a little perturbed when the powers that be try to F with me playing games over stupid little songs that all belong to me. Anyway, there's your massive object right there moving by, okay? Another pass of this big thing, and we'll probably experience a geomagnetic storm of some kind when it passes by our planet because it looks to be coming in our direction more northernly. I think it will probably affect the northern hemisphere more so than the southern hemisphere. Anyways, there's your satellite for today. Yeah, that's massive. I would say that outweighs about everything here on Earth. I mean, the headlines, all this other stuff is just nonsense. It really is. It's all distractionary to keep you from seeing what's going on here or grasping the gravity of the situation. They're trying to divide everybody and get them to slip and fall and give up their rights and yeah. Now, there's that. Now let's come on over here first and look at our solar flux indice. It's in the yellow. We're at 161. We're down 2 points. So that's some good news right there. Down a little bit. Sunspot number is 109. We're up 3 spots, but that'll probably change here pretty soon. Area is a little green, but nothing to worry about there. Let's get zoomed in really quick here on some of these sunspots. Okay. Ooh. Now, the main one was 3825 right here with its complex magnetic configuration, but it seems to be weakening. The configuration's still there, but all the poles are just dying out, so it seems to be declining and weakening here. We'll see in the report, but here's one that's kind of coming to life, 3831, and then we have 3827. This one, they all kind of seem to be tapering away a little bit. They're circling some new region coming around the limb there. But I want to take you back here, slide on over, scroll on down and see how fluxed we are. Solar X-ray flux, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars. So not much to show for it today, right? It wouldn't look like we had a massive object just rip a bunch of plasma off the sun with a bunch of moons and trailing, a whole like little solar system interacting with our sun. Yeah. Anyways, doesn't look like it because this instrument is between us and the sun, and most of that activity was kind of off at an angle. So this does not reflect our activity. Here's pretty much nothing right there. Should we go see? Do we dare go look? Well, I say, regardless whether you want to or not, we're going to do it anyway. It's so tough. And it's still more stuff coming out of the Spire region. There's still more stuff along that pathway. It's trailing more little objects. You'll see a few more little moons and interactions, spits and sputters after the big one. It's usually you'll see a few right before the big object and then a few after. It's almost like a solar system. The outer orbiting moons or satellites would affect the sun first as it approaches, then the main central thing core passes, and then the trailing ones that are out at further orbits would be the trailing ones, if you understand that kind of. All right, so there's your activity kind of going in tomorrow. It's going to be this stuff right here, another moon or something. You can see the dark object right here. These things are black, they're dark, they absorb light, they don't reflect it. Therefore, they make a dark patch, and they're usually surrounded by plasma. Why is all this plasma in that region and there's none in that black spot? How did that one spot, perfectly round circle, just manage to be, no plasma there? And this has been going on forever. We've been watching this for a long time. Anyways, there's your activity going into tomorrow already. And I have to apologize a little bit for cutting out quick last night. We had an emergency. Never a dull moment around here. And I would like to tell you what happened, but let's just say you wouldn't really believe it. So we're just going to continue on with the show. So our D-layer absorption event still kind of over. That's good. We're not absorbing anything at the moment. I will take that all week long, all month long, please. But that'll change. X flare potential 10%. That's good. It lowered a little bit. So our sunspots is 3828 beta gamma delta and growing. And the other one is the 3825 beta gamma delta and declining. That was the one where it was getting weaker. It's still that, weird configuration, but it's weaker. It already had its event, so it's declining. So, Aurora's really weak right now. You can see we had a little event right here. It was way down here and a little bloop, and then come back down, and another little bloop right here. So not very high, but we did have a couple little bumps right here in the road. Some of those little trailing CMEs, little bursts of energy like from the little satellites come bumping along too. Where are we on the 20th? No way. We are currently in a little bit of a lull in terms of solar flare activity, with only minor C flares detected during the past 48 hours. Not from what I saw. All right, no Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. Okay, no Earth-directed, but there was quite a coronal mass ejection. But no Earth-directed coronal mass ejections were observed during the past few days as well. So no further CME-influenced geomagnetic storming is not currently in the forecast. A few new sunspot regions appear to be forming, but remain stable as of this update. Okay, not much to look at right there. So let's go ahead and open up the tracker, make sure they're tracking nothing. Okay, good. Tracking nothing. And our geomagnetic forecast was clear for the next 3 days, which is good. We could use a little relief on that. We don't need to be absorbing any more energy down to the core because, well, it drives people insane. As you can see, there's a whole world of insane people. And we're done there. Let's move on to spaceweather.com real quick. Just touch base with them. Auroras love equinoxes. The northern autumnal equinox is only 2 days away. That's good news for sky watchers because auroras love equinoxes. Researchers call it the Russell-McPherson effect. Okay. At this time of the year, cracks form in the Earth's magnetic field, opening the door for solar storms. You know why this time of the year cracks form in the Earth's magnetic field? It's because around this time in September is when these objects interact with the sun, and we have all this energy that we absorb, causing your core in your shell to weaken. And when the magnetic field weakens, cracks form in the Earth's magnetic field, opening the door for solar storms. That's why around this time we get solar storms, is because of our solar activity. It used to be September and March. Now it's every, well, 4 times a week, 5 times a week maybe. Yeah, we went from twice a year to 4 to 5 times a week now. We're drawing near, I would say. This comment is returned. You can read all about that. I want to come over here now and just take a peek at this. Let's put it at our, yeah, good, it is 850. Okay, just taking a little peek around here. Nothing too much over here. We've got a couple of vortexes rotating out here. What everybody's going to be concerned about is this storm that's going to start brewing in the Gulf here, or in the Caribbean crossing and going in the Gulf, but not really showing anything. That's a ways away, so we'll see. Anyways, just kind of looking around at our configurations. A couple of storms brewing up here. And over here, Taiwan had another storm hit them with a massive tornado that just ripped up the place. Right there. It wasn't so much a typhoon that hit them. This thing just turned into one big tornado. It was nuts. I was going to show you that in the opening, but well, maybe we'll visit that later. We're already into the show. Okay, I want to do sandstorm now. So looking around, good. Don't see anything too bad. Now let's put on our particulates, turn on the sand, turn off the wind, take a peek. Okay, so there's your sandstorm. Nice and dense right here, middle of Africa, but it needs to blow more out in across the Atlantic. You can see that these plumes are not as dense anymore. They're weaker in coloration. They're not all yellow and white coming out. It's all kind of misty and green with the little hints of yellow. Very clear, through this region here, kind of clearing out. So that's where we're getting the hurricane genesis starting to happen here, because that sand is kind of diminished now. But as we come back over here, we still got a fair amount kicking up there over Africa. You got this whole area totally covered, and boy, does that thing look pissed. Oh, these guys, man. Like, that eye has just totally been going for a while over the Gobi Desert. White, just intense plume this whole time. The other eye over here was over, this other sandstorm was over here. And now it's kind of turned its focus on this area right there. And you can see how dense the sand is getting in this region too. This camera really doesn't like this coloration. I wonder if we could do the red really quick. 10 micron will work, yeah. There we go. Give you an idea of some of the density of the sand in that region. Okay, like I said, this area filling in. See, almost see the eyes in red still. Okay, so there's your sandstorm. Let's come on over to our SO2 now. Okay, sulfur dioxide is basically vaporized magma. It's sulfur dioxide, the gas that surrounds the magma down below. And every time we get an event from the sun, we absorb it. The energy then makes the core heat up and swell in diameter. The shell heats up and swells. It grinds on the core. It also causes the magma to heat up and expand. Well, the magma wants to expand outward, but it can't, because there's the crust holding it in, like the shell of the egg. So when you overcook an egg and you put cracks in the shell, the egg comes squirting out the cracks in the paths of least resistance. Okay, so same with your SO2. Here's your country divided right there, bleeding out on one side, perforations in the crust on the other. All because of the mainstream media, your educational systems. This is all a result of, well, iniquity, we'll just say. And while we got it here, we could put on a fire report, but I don't think we're going to have too much right now. Let's see. So most of the fire activity had started up here in Canada last year. Nothing really going on down there. This year it had traveled south into the lower 48, where you can see we have some plumes growing here right along the Columbia River here. Some of these pockets up here have opened up, and now you're starting to see fires in this whole zone through there. And this activity was very violent, or not violent, but very prolific and all over the place, and it had diminished for a while. But here it looks like we're having another slight uptick a little bit there. I'll let you be the judge of that as well. Most of you here, I'll leave it alone for a second. Most of you are here a lot, so you see this map every night. You see the difference every day. So looks like we have a little increase in some fires in that region, and along this Cascadia area, we're seeing more SO2 emissions. Meanwhile, down here in California, hello everybody. All right, much stronger emissions out of this spot right here, and it seems to be kind of filling in the valley here. I want to put the wind on, make sure that, I hope that's just the wind. No. Do you see the wind patterns? Which way they're going? Now, if the wind was blowing, this way and blowing this gas into the lower valley here, that would be something else. But the winds are going this way. So it's not the wind spreading out this one plume down the valley. It's this valley starting to leak SO2. And you see the fires that are starting to kick up in the area. Oh, man. All right, you guys in California, you better start paying attention to your fires, where they're located. You better start paying attention to these SO2 emissions. And when we get activity from the sun, I'm telling you, it causes earthquakes, volcanoes, SO2 emissions, and fires. And now look at this. Looks like the California Valley from like the Bay Area going up a little bit up into wine country or whatever, and then back down is starting to have these SO2 emissions, which will relieve pressure. Remember, we saw some heat plumes on the coast here, so that could be translating inland now, and we're starting to see SO2 plumes instead of earthquake activity. We're seeing minor earthquake activity, but probably use a little bit more. Anyways, there's this site right here having a fire. And then, ooh, whoa. We haven't had much east of this line except for down in Louisiana. And we're down here at Louisiana, Texas area here with a good, strong emission site and a good, strong fire. And here I have, I don't know. That one and this one look like they're a little bit of this activity has made it past the east-west line. Is starting to, happen down here. That's where it was before too. Was down here in Louisiana. So, all right, these other ones I don't count. That one, boy, that one right there. I'm going to say yes. I'll let you guys be the judge as well, okay? I'm not telling you how to think or what to think, whatever. I'll let you guys be the judge as well. But when I look at these things, this one, not so much. That one, not so much. We have other industries in this area that do have, some of these oil platforms have chimneys that have a flame on the top that burn off excess gas, right? And that would be a heat emission site. But when we're seeing it right in the core of a strong plume like that, I got to say yes on that one. Possibly yes on that one. So we are seeing some of this activity starting to creep into the eastern side of the country here. All right. Dang. I didn't think that was going to happen so soon. All right, let me take the fires off really quick here. Done looking at that. All right, let's go down. Mexico has a lot of SO2 emissions, a lot of volcanic activity going on through this region as well. You can almost see the little independent volcanic sites sometimes. Also, Cuba and Jamaica is feeling a lot of SO2 venting pressure in this little plate region right here as well, keeping magnitudes down, but every once in a while we do see a little uptick in magnitudes here in this region. Also, look at these islands now. It's not just little wispy wisps. Those are some serious purple dots. Those islands are spewing some serious SO2 right now because, well, we probably had another round of pressure building up. You can see it in the coloration. And when we look at this map, the differences between a day. And we come down, you see it all going down through here. We're going to check our fulcrum point. Looking pretty much like it did last night. This one, the other two being really strong. The other, all five there. This newer one on the coastline, still pretty strong right now. Even this one over here, the ones in the surrounding region are pretty healthy. This region, nice and dark right now too. So, and just by, you can see the huge plume of SO2 that's out over the Pacific here. So you can see that these emissions are pretty strong. Okay, let's come on over, stop off at Hawaii, make sure everything's going smooth there. All right, got little crisscrosses. All right, so we're looking good there. I just want to make sure that we're getting good SO2 emissions out of there. We saw a small volcanic, eruption out of Hawaii there. Well, good crack opened up, some fissures, a curtain of lava there. Oh, we should skip these waves. Anyways, let's move on. Whoa, back to this one. So there's Hawaii. Everything looking good there. Swing it on over. Adjust for their data. And you can see that their emission's still pretty strong. Even though they got flooding all over the place, you can see some spots right here where some of the flooding is still hampering some of it. But even with flooding, their emissions are so strong that only brief little time like that will you see a small little open patch, and that'll fill right back in. Meanwhile, here we are at Taiwan, a lot of SO2 emissions coming out of here. We have seen some quake out of this region, and we need to see more. Okay. That's our fulcrum point on the plate boundary, relieves energy. Meanwhile, SO2 emissions way up into here, coming down into North and South Korea. Japan is a volcanic island chain, so it has SO2 emissions. Philippines, pretty strong here around this part of the upper island. Come over here to Malaysia. The tip of Malaysia down here has it pretty strong. Sumatra has filled in. And then we check on Java. The purple island of Java has volcanoes and strong emissions all over the place. That's probably, smells like rotten eggs there. Then just taking a peek, these little volcanic islands still spewing SO2. A bigger island right there where we see quake activity sometimes. Coming down the plate boundary, these are all volcanic islands. We have this little island right here with two little emission sites, right? It's right at the beginning of the plate boundary system, so a lot of relieves some of the pressure as it tries to come up here at this region. It lowering the magnitudes. There's your deep spot or deep quake central area. Fiji, a little bit off of this islands, way over here as well. Okay, so all these little islands down here spewing SO2. Look at Australia. It's bleeding out. Tasmania. Even here on New Zealand, even though some of this is blown over from the coast, White Island Volcano still has SO2 emissions as well as along the coastline here. So no place is really safe of this. Looking at India, they have that circulation that keeps ramming it up against the Himalayas and it won't let it escape and it keeps recirculating. And you see that area darkening in. I showed you all the sand and emissions over this area, the very evil, pissed off face looking at them. And we have stronger emissions in this area now. You see all these little spots that are opening up all over the place here, all along the coastline, all along the Red Sea here. Very strong emission site here. This thing is growing bigger and bigger. And we have a plate boundary that runs right down the Red Sea right there. So strong emissions over on this too, on this Gulf over here. All along the coastline, the Holy Land here, Israel, Lebanon, Israel, Syria, Egypt, are all having strong SO2 emissions too. This whole region. Look at Spain and Portugal. Okay, you remember you guys saw the fires in Portugal the other day? Gee, I wonder why there's fires in Portugal. That plume is black in the center. Can we get it? That black spot right there. And I wanted to show you really quick on our chart. Black being the very end. It goes blue to black. And this very last thing here. So there's your very, very strong emission site out of Portugal where they were having fires. This gas comes out of the ground so hot that it'll spark any kind of vegetation, nearby vegetation, cause spontaneous combustion, and then it's burning. Little emission sites down here in South Africa as well. Okay, so we covered that. Let's get on over to our water, ocean temperature, surface temperature anomalies. Okay. Now, the way this works, these are water temperature anomalies. Okay. When you have a vent on the ocean floor, hot water rises in a column. Then when it reaches the surface, it blossoms out much like a mushroom cloud does. It hits the surface. The surface tension of the water stops that heat from rising, and then it spreads out kind of circular fashion. And these are all blossoms or all blooms, plumes from down below, hot water plumes being caused by volcanic activity on the ocean floor. Okay, these pretty much translate into our regions of activity where there's open vents, holes, cracks in the ocean floor where magma, steam, hot water, other materials, maybe even materials that are deeper like nickel and cesium might be coming up too. Okay, especially in the mid-Atlantic rift right there. Over here on the Pacific side, you see our triangle structure right here. We have this area still kind of like it was yesterday. It's broadening out in the yellow coloration of it, starting to come out this direction a little bit more. But look up here. This is good. Right along the coast, we come out from our fulcrum point out to the Juan de Fuca and then runs up through here. All of this is starting to lighten up in color along the plate boundary right there. We still have some coloration inside the plate, but it's lessened. We have cold water inundation up here running down the coast. It's getting stronger through this area. Now remember, this is yesterday's map. This map takes a day to update because of all the data that has to go into configuring all these temperatures have to come in from all around the world to put this map together. So it takes a day. But we had seen some quake activity around the Juan de Fuca, hopefully lightening up some of the pressure. And we're seeing the results here with a little bit of cold water inundation and less of the red intensity. We're also seeing fires and SO2 emissions in here, which would relieve some of that pressure as well. Okay. I think what a lot of earthquake people fail to add into the equation is they're looking at plates pushing at each other like this, right? And grinding sideways. Well, there's a third dimension of pressure pushing up from down below towards you, coming out of this screen towards the camera. And that third dimension of pressure underneath rides those crack lines. Those cracks are the faults. They're flaws in the surface. Meanwhile, out here in the middle of the ocean is Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on our planet. And it's spewing hot water, magma, something, all the little vents around it, little seamounts, probably doing the same thing. Here we have all the way over by Japan. This was the original area of, intensity, and now it has spread. So, meanwhile, look at Korea. They are in hot water. Do they not see that they are in hot water? Probably not, because they don't watch my show. All right, here we go. Taiwan, very important. Last night, I wanted to see if we had a reduction in the yellow coloration because we had some quakes here. And to see the result, we'd have to wait the next day for this map. And I don't see a change at all. It looks about the same. If anything, there's been more yellow. Okay, so I was wrong. There's more yellow in that area. I'm trying to get this kind of decent for you guys here. Where is that magic point here? All right, bear with me for a second. But I want your coloration there without the wavy lines too. So, a little, not much change. Actually, a little increase in our coloration here. It's weird how a digital camera can't take a picture of a digital screen. All the little interfaces. All right, enough playing around. And we have yellow here at this end of the island. So we have had a increase in pressure in this region, even though we've had earthquakes. I don't think it was enough. I really don't. We need to see more activity out of that region. It's our relief valve, or a relief valve for this side of the planet. Okay. Over here at Java, you see all the SO2, earthquake, volcano activity. We still have cold water around the area. It's even out to this far right here. But look at this whole plume right here that's opened up in the last week right along here, getting really hot. Got some hot spots that have opened up along that strip right there. Then look at this little area, still intense. We got some cold water pocket growing right here with a hot area right here, cold. Pretty soon there's going to be rotation in this area. Lucky it hasn't been. It could be just like a sitting storm. If those pockets don't move and they just stay right there, you could get a vortex that would just sit there. Meanwhile, looking down through here, we had this big quake over here at Madagascar the other day. And it was right at this little spot right here, right where we're seeing this little hot spot. And it didn't really go away. You can see it's kind of growing in coloration and intensity even after our quake. So you might see another quake in that region. And you might see some quaking around there too. And some of these diverse quakes that we're seeing are probably because of this kind of activity. Your North Atlantic kind of petering out. This one little central hot spot has kind of died off. So our conveyor belt structure probably not as strong. I'm just looking around really quick. This spot's still flaring up, and this spot right there. Okay, let me go ahead and put the winds back on. And you can see our conveyor belt structure is, there's still a conveyor belt structure over here on the Pacific side. But over here on the Atlantic side, it's all kind of jumbled mess now. We don't have any continuity, no organization. It's kind of this jumbled hodgepodge mess of rotation here, flow there. So we're kind of transition season where everything's kind of getting jumbled up. And this is going to give opportunities for those storms to grow. We need to see a lot more sand coming off that area. You see these regions in here, still hot water anomalies all around, right? Watch this. Well, oh, I wish we could have kept that wind pattern right there for a second. Something else I want to point out is our intertropical convergence zone, where the northern hemisphere's air and the southern hemisphere's air converge at the hemisphere. The intertropical convergence zone has now shifted, and it's shifted way up to this latitude now. Okay. So here's an example of your southern hemisphere air flowing up into the northern hemisphere up to that latitude, and some of it even being drawn towards this heat and being pulled up even further. All right. Also, our conveyor belt structure over here is just kind of not there. And over here, you can see again with this intertropical convergence zone has reached above the equator. It's way up at this latitude. And that's disrupting a lot of our sand production coming off of here. Because if the wind had stopped and cut here, well, then we would see a lot going this way. But now it's creeping up and it's halting a lot of the sand that would come off of this area, isn't it? Something shifted like this. I wish we could keep the winds and get that one little effect. I don't know how you do that. Wish I could just like double click and nope. Oh, don't do that. But I wish I could just kind of grab it and move it down like this and line the winds up like we had that one time so you could see the matchup and how it's shifted. But like this, you can see it anyways. And that shift in the convergence zone has halted half of the sand production, right? Because it's pushing back against Africa. We do have this vortex kind of pumping this way, but the sand that would kind of come off of it back out into the ocean is being pulled up. So we're not seeing as much sand production off of Africa right there because of the heat signatures and stuff too. It's not drawn as much. Now what I want to do really quick here, while we're in the Gulf, let's go to our standard sea surface temperatures. And we'll take off the wind really quick. Now, our latest track model for this new hurricane that's coming in goes across the Yucatan, up through here, and then up into the Gulf, where we have the hottest water in the world. So the genesis, the bombogenesis possibility of this hurricane intensifying in strength is there. Let's pray we don't have any kind of activity off of the sun heading our direction, any geomagnetic storm enhancement while this thing's in this region. It's already big and bad enough. Okay, so a lot of fuel for that storm right here. So everybody watch it carefully. I mean, right now you have a big head start. I would start taking precautions because even if this one doesn't, you're going to start having a train of them heading that way. I pray I'm wrong. I hope this doesn't happen. But like I showed you, Taiwan or China last night, 13 typhoons so far this year. 13. Yes, I said 13. Okay, so right now we're going to leave it right about here, turn off the winds, and we're going to come over and do our earthquake report. Now, deep quake region, not too much around here. Let's see what this is, a 4.6 down at 104. So no deep quake right here in this region at all. I don't consider that deep. That's 104. That's a little volcanic island over here by Tonga. Those ones that were spewing SO2. Meanwhile, we have this little island right here that has its SO2 emissions. It relieves pressure right around this area. So when pressure tries to come at this first part of the crack, well, it's being relieved here and keeping the magnitudes down. It doesn't stop them altogether, but it keeps it down. Meanwhile, we have 5-0 down at 66. That's a volcanic island right there, probably. 5.6 down at 185, another volcanic island. Watch. When they're at a depth of 10, they're usually on the plate boundary or right on some feature. Here we have volcanic islands all around. It could be on the flank of this. Well, it's in between this one and that one. We got all kinds of little volcanoes are all around here, so maybe it's a new one, brewing down on the ocean floor. It would be in line with them all, don't you think? And maybe a little baby volcano growing down there. And let's take a peek into this too. You see all these islands right here is a little volcanic chain. Boom, boom, boom. So it would just line up with where another one would be. Meanwhile, coming over to this plate boundary, 5.2 down at 49, again on the flank of a volcanic island. So all this activity is all at volcanic sites so far. Then we come over to here really quick, Sumatra, and bingo, a 4.9 down at 83. What do we do with 4.9s here? Yeah. So another 5, roughly. Is this one close to that one? Crater. Yeah. So, all right, here's your quake. Here's your plate boundary. We have that, the Marapi, not Merapi, but M-A-R Rapi is right next to this big old caldera. Look at this thing, dude. All right, so here's Marapi that's going off right here. But look at this thing. You can tell it. Here, let's get a little bit better coloration. What is going on with this tonight? All right, there we go. You can see the old caldera rim right here. This was a big volcano at one time, with a bunch of other ones right next to it. This one currently active, Marapi. And then look, just up the way from it, bingo, is your quake. And this is all, look, volcano here, one there. So, right, kind of in a row, down below there, 4.9, something brewing, new island brewing down there or something too. Okay, so we covered all that. Now, check this out. This is your diverse quake, because we don't see many out here, but the last time we did, it was like the Boxing Day quake that caused the huge tsunami out here. But you see these little seamounts out in this big old empty plain out here. There's a couple of little seamounts that have, pushed up to the surface, and right at the end of this little ridge, you can see this is where a quake landed, right down here. And it's at the surface. It's a 5.1 right at the surface right here. So it's not all that deep. So it's not like a volcanic island. You can see these things up here. And it's not at depth. It's not like a volcanic depth. It's at the surface. This is your oddball quake right here. This is your diverse quake right there. And let's come over to this region and take a look at temperatures in that spot right there, shall we? One more time and get a good shot of it. Okay, right off there. Yeah. So there's your plate boundary system and your islands. There's your island. You can see this little ridge right there. Let me back out, get you just a tad bit better perspective. So off the tip of India and across from Sumatra. Come back here. Off the tip of India, across from Sumatra, out in this region out here. Is where that was. And we do have a little coloration in the region, but nothing too major. So don't be surprised we see more activity out in this oddball region because of the pressure building up in that region there. Oh, one day when I have a professional studio. Imagine if I worked for Hollywood or had their technology. Here we go, 4.4 down to 10 right there, scrubbing energy at the surface. And I don't see too much as far as... Oh, no, there's fault lines in the area. They're not really distinct, but I can see structure. You can see different little pathways of pressure that were involved in making this mountain range. When you can see those pathways, you can see where the faults are. So, not a diverse quake. It's on a little fault there. But a new spot to watch, huh? For sure. Just want to make sure there's no like... Sorry, I gotta look at this really quick. I want to make sure this isn't like another one of these, like we had yesterday. What's going on here? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. It's got some faults running through this. Pressure on the backside of these ridges, yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure because we all seen what's going on in the news. This looks like a legit quake. It's along a little fault structure there. 4.4 here in Russia, huh? We'll watch that area closely. Okay. All right, let's come on over to this side. Oh dear, I just yawned at you guys. 5.2 down at 97. Volcanic Island. You see the little ridge coming out right here, coming up. We don't have to get in too deep there, but right outside of Tokyo, Hasaki, Japan, Hasaki. 4.6. Relieving energy in that area. Also, up here at the Kamchatka, we haven't seen anything in a minute. 4.7 down to 44. And I think that covers most of that part of the side of the earth. Yeah. Just really quick down here, fulcrum point quake, 4.5 down at 103, magnitude check, 3.2, a little average there. And look at this, a 4.1 in on Mexico. Wow. A lot of dirt firemen out there. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's water. Oh, these are all dirt. Oh, there's something that's green. So out in the middle of the dirt farms, we got this 4.1 at Alza, Mexico at the surface. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. All this. Bigger scale. There's that. You got more on this side. So kind of in between these two lava fields, old volcanic structures, really old. Out in the dirt fields, the dirt farms in between the two volcanic structures out in these plains out here is this 4.1, huh? Interesting. I'll have to watch that area now. Wonder what's coming up Oh, that's opposite Baja there. It's coming up Baja. It'll be over in this region here underneath. See this red that could creep under the land here. So, we'll have to watch that carefully. Possible new volcanic site there too. Fulcrum point here on the New. Oh no, that's not New Madrid. This is up in Kansas, Missouri. Actually, 2.6 down to 2.1. All right, Missouri. Watch out there. Okay, we got to do all magnitudes when we do America. So let me hop in there. Close that out. Close this out. Get you guys a pretty looking map. And dive on in. Now we saw pressure being relieved over here by the Kamchatka here, by our fulcrum point. We haven't seen that in a minute. No micro quaking along these volcanic islands, but we do have a fair quake right here, 4.0 down to 34. Probably most of your pressure got relieved. That would have been coming out these little micro quakes along here. Well, 4.0 took out a lot of the pressure in that region. I bet you if you hadn't had this 4.0, you would have seen a 0.01, 0.04, 0.06, 0.001, 0.2, 2.1, all string out along here. And when you see one good healthy one like this, a good 4.0 down at 34, kind of quells that. Till you get, that's even the first little mouse part, and it's only a 0.8. Then we get up to regular quake activity again with a 3.2 there. Come here, please. So our jump from 4 to 3.2 here, fulcrum point quake right here with a 2.1. What's this one? 3.9. So there's your 4 energy that started down at this end. Whoops. Started down at this end. Made it there. Come on over down into the Wanda Fuker. Nothing too much along there. Just little minor stuff in the Puget Sound. Now, here we go. Quakes at the top of Mount Rainier. They're not big, but they are an indicator of pressure down below trying to work its way up through that volcanic column. Again, quakes at the top of St. Helens. Same effect. Pressure coming up through volcanic system, shaking the plugged up volcano right at the plug. A little activity being released down there as well. Then, what's this? Even though it's not much. Holly, Oregon, okay. Coming into your fulcrum point a little bit just above inland, and then pushing inland. Coming down into your geysers, still doing their job. Not enough. I could use 20 more of them little quakes right there. Also, over here, when you look at this lake right here, let me show you something. This is a big, huge neighborhood, golf course, streets. All of this was built on a big old sandbar. And it seems to be sloughing because we get in quakes in this area. There's no faults around here. This is in this lake, and right on the sides of this peninsula, on this side and on this side, we've been having earthquake activity up there. 2.1 in Almanor, California. The people that live out here on this peninsula, I'd be real careful. I'd watch your property. If it starts to slip or slough or move at all, I'd get out of there. That was not a smart move, putting all that on a sandbar like that. Out by Pyramid Lake here, there's some little volcanic vents, steam vents that have opened up out there recently. I saw 1.7 here at Portola. Sorry, just kind of taking a peek around here. Some of this stuff may not be important to you guys, but it does all fill in and relate. A little bit of activity out here. This is good. It's not much, but it's a little venting of pressure out there. Coming on down. Looks all good out there. Ooh. 2.0 at Emory, Utah. Oh, again with this plate, or not plate boundary, but this. Oh, this is a different spot. What? What's going on here? These are all just washes and runoffs and... Huh. Got a lot of water coming off these mountains and washing down and running off into this area. It might be kind of weakening this area. I don't know get what's going on there. There might be a little push of pressure underneath there too. A little mild spot up here by Salt Lake City too. All right, coming on out here. Just check a few magnitudes out in Texas. There's 1.5, 2.2. We checked that one already, yeah. All right, there's your earthquake report. A couple of strays up there, but that's okay. All right, let's move on now to our volcano report. Get that out of there. Take that out of there. Close out some of these instruments so I can open up that volcano report. And voila, here we go. Thank you for your patience, you guys. All right, 36 and 32. Can you see it up there? That's 60. What? Are you kidding me? 68 volcanoes now? 68 volcanoes and 24 at unrest. Kind of like you guys sometimes at night you can't get any rest, you're at unrest. Okay, so can we have that, please? Yep, Luatobi volcano right there going off. Okay, here we go. IBU at 8,000 feet. Luatobi. No report there. Semeru 14,000. Fuego 16,000. Sabancaya had a puff emission. Sabancaya puffs, huh? Duly noted. Let's get into the 19th, which is today or now yesterday, because, well, time flies at this channel, I'm telling you. Here's your map of insanity. Come over and check it out sometime and lose your mind. All of this, where is the mainstream media? Anybody. It's just like this, all this volcanoes going off every day, day after day after day, and there's just like, not much about it. Etna still going off here. Well, near constant degassing continues. Okay, so we're degassing finally at Etna. Suwanosejima, no height there. Bongana, again, 12,000 feet. Unsafe dog breeds. Unless you're a professional. 12,000 feet out of, what was that last one? Oh, yeah. Ibu, 8,000. Luatobi, 10,000. Semeru, 14. Fuego, no report. 15 out of Reventador. Sabancaya, 22. And that's about all she wrote. Okay, good enough. We do have a lot of, we do have a lot of volcanic activity. Bongana being a new one on the list when it jumped on there yesterday at 12,000 feet. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the weather now. They didn't have much for us to report there tonight. So, I'm just going to go ahead and let that load up for a second, let you watch that, and you take a sip. All right, we'll watch as this thing approaches. Now the models show it a lot weaker. That was nothing compared to what they were showing last night. All right. Well, it's still ways out there, and it's all subject to change. We have no geomagnetic storming in the forecast for the next few days. After today's passage of the big object, I would expect that probably 3 days from today, we would see geomagnetic storming effects mainly in the northern hemisphere, since that seemed to be heading over the northern half of the planet. So, but that'll be 3 days out. Meanwhile, current conditions, morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 21st. Watch out up in there in Canada. Noon, convection. Also convection on the 21st down here in Missouri. Watch out and back here in the foothills of the Rockies there. That would be the nighttime of the 21st, going into the morning of the 22nd. Noon, convection, nighttime, 23rd. This would be the 7-year anniversary of the Revelation 12 star alignment on September 23rd. And then you would have the noon of that day, convection, nighttime, 24th, noon, convection, nighttime, 25th, noon, convection, nighttime. Here comes your low down here. Morning of the 26th, noon, convection. Convection, the 26th right there looks pretty gnarly. This has really cleaned up since last night's model, which is a much improvement from last night, so we'll take that. But noon the 26th right there with intense landfall, convection the 26th. Landfall and convection at the same time is going to be increase the blow. Then the nighttime the 26th, morning the 27th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime, 30th, or 29th, sorry, noon, convection, nighttime, 30th, noon, convection, nighttime, 31st, or October 1st, noon, convection, nighttime, 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime, 3rd, convection, night, 4th, convection, nighttime. So here we go on the 4th again, 3rd, 4th, with a second storm heading towards Florida. And that's way out there at the end of this forecast, so that's all subject to change, especially the further out we go. But for the next day or two, it's right here up in Canada, noon the 21st, then convection around Missouri, back here at Panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma. And then the nighttime of the 21st with intensification back in this region, even some back into Colorado and up here in Canada. Watch out, you guys. Whoops. That'd be the morning of the 22nd. Still residuals in the morning. That might catch people off guard right there. Noontime. Convection the 22nd with this strung out little linear front. You can see here, let me zoom in. There's a few little areas in yellow here. Now, not necessarily those spots, but when we see these little spots, the convective potential energy is in that line. So we'll have to watch this as it, as this forms this linear convective system here around that time frame here. I think that's convection, isn't it? Yeah, convection the 22nd. We'll have to watch that. And if it blossoms even harder into nighttime, that'll be a concern. But anything after that, okay, pretty much good. So those are our two main concerns tomorrow and the 22nd. All right, that was it for that. And let's clear all that out and get our spiritual report going. Okay, Now there's astrophysics and there's geophysics and there's what everybody call metaphysics. Well, it's not like the new age metaphysics. It's actually more about how you work, how you were designed, and how I can help you with that. Okay, I'm getting some of the photos pulled up here. Do. Okay. One, get rid of the volcano page, get rid of this. Pop up some stuff from my channel. And so a lot of that stuff can be disturbing. That's why we need to do a spiritual report, because it's all really part of the process. And when you understand that part, then it takes the sting out of it. Whoops. When you realize that this is all kind of out of your control, that it's all part of a plan and a process, and that, where did that one go? There it is. Go. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Go back. Well, like that, I guess it'd work. Kind of too bright there for that camera. There we go. All right, one of the latest images that's been captured here, kind of making fun of my little lower lip sticking out. I blow smoke out of my nose sometimes when I'm smoking a cigarette, and it's making fun of me. And there's my face in the clouds, making fun of my hair and everything. Not making fun of me, but I'm just saying it, capturing my likeness right there. That's for sure. And I recognize my own face. That's the spooky thing about this. Is like, what if it was your face and you recognized your face? How would you feel? You'd be like, this is a little uncomfortable. But after a while, I'm starting to get used to it here. I'll pull up a couple other images real quick for reading too. And this one is always a must. I don't care if you get sick of it or if it gets old. This should never get old. Should never get sick of this image right here. What's going on?
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So, yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds.
All right, try and get
what looked like a face over here.
Try and get it one.
And I'm going to start zooming in on the...
All right, there we go. I'm trying to capture that one zoom point. Recapture the Jesus pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out all these waves, making a face in the clouds of the crown. It's my face. I recognize my face. And it wasn't until I looked a little deeper that I saw, oh, back behind here, it's being projected by Jesus' heart. So that's the main image I want you guys to focus on in this frame, is your Savior here, pulling open his shirt like Superman, exposing his heart and radiating out love, creating faces in the clouds. Okay? Actually controlling the weather, basically. If you can control the clouds with your heart, well, that means you could probably control the weather, right? Make all kinds of weird little faces and stuff in the clouds and all kinds of things showing up on Easter. All right, now let's get to this. I had some stuff picked out that we didn't get to last night, and where did that go? I think it was this one over here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so here we go. You see all these little pop-up things are like little windows right here, right? And see this little window and this little window, that one down there. Let me pull it up a little bit better so you guys can see Right there. All these little windows right there. So, um, being thankful is kind of the trick to all this. So, a thankful attitude opens windows of heaven. Well, doesn't it right there? A thankful attitude gives you the eyes and it opens the windows that you see right here of heaven. A thankful attitude opens windows of heaven. Spiritual blessings fall freely onto you through those openings into eternity. These, what you're looking at, are openings into eternity. Those are openings into eternity, are they not? So, a thankful attitude opens windows of heaven. Spiritual blessings fall freely onto those, fall onto you through those openings. So, when you see these openings, the spiritual blessings fall freely onto you through these openings into an eternity. Now, as you look up with a grateful heart, you get a glimpse of glory through these windows. You cannot yet live in heaven, but you can experience foretastes of your ultimate home. Such samples of heavenly fare revive your hope. Don't these revive your hope? Doesn't this channel revive your hope? It better. That's why you're here. That's why I do this. That's why I'm back, is to revive your hope. As you look up with a grateful heart, that's when you get a glimpse of the glory through those windows. Most people don't have a grateful heart. They don't see this. They just see clouds. They're like, yeah, there's no face there. There's no such thing. There's no heart there. I don't see no dude. Why is he wearing sunglasses? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. But why is he wearing sunglasses? They will ask that question. But yet they see the sunglasses are real, but everything else is fake, right? It's only a grateful heart. It's only a thankful heart that gets glimpses of glory through these windows. And these are samples of heaven, and they are to revive your hope. Thankfulness opens you up to the experience, which then provides further reason to be grateful. So now your thankfulness has opened you up to experience. You're experiencing this now. You're more than just seeing it, you're experiencing it too. Okay, your thankfulness has now opened you up to these experiences, which then provide further reasons to be grateful. Don't these provide even further reasons to be grateful? You see the mayhem going down around the planet. Everybody's losing their mind, and yet you can still have peace that transcends your circumstances, Yeah. And that's because of your thankfulness. It has opened you up to these experiences which you are experiencing, and it provides further reason to be grateful. Now your path becomes an upward spiral, ever increasing in gladness. Whoa, did you hear that? Everybody else is going downward spiral, but your path has become an upward spiral with ever increasing gladness. The more this world goes down the toilet, you're like, oh, thank God I'm saved, right? Your path is an upward spiral where everybody else is going down. They're going into depression where you are going into ever increasing gladness. And it's thankfulness. It's the key. Thankfulness is not some sort of magic formula. It's the language of love, which enables you to communicate intimately with me. It's the language of love. Okay? Your path is now an upward spiral. Thankfulness is not a magic trick. It's a language of love that enables you here at this channel to communicate intimately with me. A thankful mindset does not entail a denial of reality with its plethora of problems. A thankful mindset does not entail denial of reality. Instead, it rejoices in me, your Savior, while in the midst of these trials and tribulations. I am your refuge during this, okay? Instead, I want you to rejoice in me in the midst of your trials and tribulations, and know I am your refuge and strength, and an ever-present and well-proved help in trouble. You have found through your troubles a well-proved help. Where else did I have the other one? Yeah, right here. And now that's why you can come to me and rest in my peace. Where's this one right here? Where's this other one I want here? Sorry, I didn't pull up this one. I need that one. Right.
There's a video of a woman using the Wi-Fi detector.
Yeah. All right, there we go. This one important right here because you've found something here. So come to me and rest in my peace. My face is shining upon you in rays of peace, transcending understanding. So instead of trying to figure things out yourself, you can relax in the presence of the one who knows you. And as you lean on me in trusting dependence, you feel peaceful and complete. This is how I designed you to live in close communion with me. Okay? As you lean on me in trusting dependence, you're the one who feels peaceful and complete. This is for you. You get to lean on me in trusting dependence. And this is how I designed you to live. You're supposed to live in communion with me. So when you're around other people, you tend to cater to their expectations, whether they're real or imagined. You feel enslaved to pleasing them, and your awareness of my presence grows dim. Your efforts to win their approval eventually exhaust you. You offer these people dry crumbs rather than the living water of my spirit flowing through you. So, this is not my way for you. Stay in touch with me even during your busiest moments, and let my spirit give you words of grace as you live in the light of my peace. You guys are now in the light of my peace. You give words of grace, letting my spirit flow through you to give those words of grace. You guys are doing awesome with this too. I love it. I love it when you guys grasp this stuff and you apply it. It's no good if you don't apply it. Who's the other one? Where did it go? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. Also, one more thing here. I guess we could do it on that one. Yeah, I guess we'll get to that one. We'll leave it dark. All right. So, is this the one? Yeah. Okay. It's important for you guys to understand that I am your brother and your friend. I am the firstborn among many brothers, and you are being conformed to my likeness. This is an astonishing privilege and blessing, and some children are blessed to have a strong, loving older brother who helps and protects them. But you have an all-powerful big brother, big buddy, who is constantly looking out for your interests. Even the most committed family member or friend cannot be with you always. But I never leave your side. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother. My continual presence with you should never be taken for granted. Remember that your faithful friend is also King of Kings. I am the first and the last. I am the living one who was dead and is alive. Is alive. You are in a skin suit alive. When you die, you leave your body. Your consciousness is no longer there. So in order for your God to be alive, he must be in a skin suit as well. See, I like to hop in one and come down and walk amongst my people. And I am the first and the last. I showed you that birthmark on the side. That means I was stabbed before in the side in a previous life, and I was killed by that wound. All right. Now I'm alive again in the flesh. I'm the living one who was dead and is alive in the flesh. Alive forever and evermore. And I want you to relate to me with reverence because I am your Savior God. Remind yourself that the glorious gift of salvation is yours forever, and honor me with gratitude. Just a simple thank you. Oh, I recognize what you did. Thank you. Well, that's all. Oh, and it's that gratitude that helps you make it through your days. Your thankfulness, your gratitude is what your thankful attitude. It opens up the windows to heaven. Doesn't it? And if that's the case, and you see the windows of heaven open up before you, you're looking at my face in the clouds. You guys are caught up with me in the clouds. This is my face in the clouds. I'm coming with power and great glory. That's what the crown signifies, power and great glory. This happened on Easter 2020. 2,000-year-old prophecy took place in 2020. Pretty crazy, huh? But you're looking at my face in the clouds. This is me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And if you see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory, it's fascinating. It's intriguing. It's like a good book. It's like a good song. It's like a long TikTok thread. You get caught up in it. It takes you away from your circumstances for a few minutes, and you are so caught up by this, you forgot about what just happened 5 minutes ago, right? Because you're caught up, like a good book or good song. You're caught up with me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds, and you're caught up with me in the clouds. I went and prepared a place for you where we could meet in the air, live on YouTube in the air of cyberspace. You are technically raptured, even though that word does not exist in the Bible, and everybody insists on using it. Everybody's counting on it like it's going to be the answer, and they're going to be sourly disappointed because they're not caught up with me in the clouds. They're waiting for Hollywood to produce them into a little white dot that just disappears, and every plane's going to crash, and all these cars are going to collide, babies are going to disappear. No. The quote rapture, or the catching away, the being caught up, has been going on for 7 years. This is 2024, or this is in 2020. So that was 4 years ago, but it's still been happening prior to this. So the rapture has been happening for 7 years. You see these signs. We're in that season. Well, you're the ones that are technically being raptured, but you're caught up with me in the clouds, where I made a place where we can meet. You see me. You understand me. You hear my voice. My sheep know my voice. You guys know my voice? Yeah, I could probably walk up to you in a crowd and start talking to somebody else. You would recognize my voice and turn your head really quick and go, there he is. But only my sheep recognize my voice, and they're here to enjoy the show. They're caught up. Okay? And that's you. The salvation, you believe this, trust me, lean on me, use this as your foundation, as your rock on which to build and which you can lean on. When you do that, you will find that something special then happens in your life. You get your identity. Now you know that you are truly a child of God, if you want it. How bad do you want it? Then, as we wait here, you have salvation. As we wait, we work on salvage work. We try to salvage our day. All kinds of things are coming at us out of left and right field that can ruin your day. One news report could make you sour, and then you talk to your aunt on the phone, and she detects it in your voice, and you ruined her day. Therefore, we have to salvage our day. We have to become masters of overcoming negativity during the day. You take a moment, take a time out, take a few deep breaths, pray, Jesus, help me. Take me away from this situation for a minute. Let me get caught up in thinking of you. Say a few prayers. One I use all the time is, God, grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change. It's an AA one, but it's a prayer that actually is more effective than you think. When you just say, God, grant me the serenity, you're asking for serenity and peace. Grant me the serenity to accept. We all need to swallow hard and learn some acceptance. Yeah. Grant me the serenity to accept there are things I cannot change, that I have no power over, right? When you learn that you don't have power over everything, it kind of relieves you a little bit. It lets the pressure off of you. Okay? That's how this works. God, grant me the serenity, accept the things I cannot change. Until it works. Jesus, please give me your peace. I trust you. All of those, any kind of form, one of your favorite prayers that takes you away from your circumstances and puts you in the right frame of mind for a few minutes can help ease your day and turn it around. Then you will all of a sudden feel a little bit better inside. You're not so depressed. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's all part of the plan. I forgot I'm being tested today. And then your face will start to shine again. You're like, yeah, I'll take it on. It's just part of the test. It's a challenge. And your face will start to glow like this, and you will glow and shine into other people's lives. That's what we are supposed to do in these closing days here. As many people as you can shine your light into and bring to the realization that you guys are divine. Okay? Don't let the mainstream media tear your soul and your mind apart. That's what they're doing. This is a battle for your consciousness and your willpower. You're going to cave to the clowns in the media when you got this thing out by the moon that's watching over you? Oh, speaking of which, you guys pay attention to Mike from around the world talking about a second moon showing up? I wonder if it would be one with a big old face on it like that. All right, you guys are blessed here at this channel. I'm not trying to say that I'm all up, but no, this is more for you. How blessed. What a wonderful gift that you guys have. Okay? It's a wonderful gift I give, and it's even better is the giver. Okay. The fact that I am here, I am back. You see all the signs. And when you see these things, look up, your redemption is drawing nigh. What's your redemption? Who's your redemption? Jesus is your redemption. So your redemption means Jesus. So when you see these things begin to happen, your redemption, insert the word Jesus, is drawing nigh, means he's very near. When you see these things begin to happen, look up. Jesus is very near. Your redemption draws nigh. Your Redeemer is very close. He's closer than you think. He's so close, he's possibly speaking to you right now at this wonderful little channel. And that's all it is just my presence. And yes, you figured it out. You are blessed to be in my presence. I'm not an egotistical guy. I'm trying to be as humble about all this as I can. I wasn't expecting this stuff. It hit me out of left field. I'm just a regular dude. All this paranormal activity started happening to me and rocked my family. And I had to make a decision to either do the impossible, take on mission impossible, and sacrifice everything. And I did. I did for you guys. Okay. It's important that you understand this is all real work. You guys are doing real work. You're salvaging your day. You're bringing that light into other people's lives. You see how this works. Here's the line of the tribe of Judah in that event. Okay. It wasn't just one face. It turned into a lion face with the crown still above it on Easter. Okay. This is all to reassure you. It's not about, hey, look at me. I'm all this. I'm all that. This is to reassure you. So you have a foundation. So you have a rock on which to build. And when things start to get crazy, you will understand why. It'll take the sting out of death. It takes the sting out of everything. You know you have victory. Shoot. Some people have figured it out. They're like, man, I can't wait until this is over. But those are the people that aren't willing to do the work. See, they want an easy way out. No, we're building people. We're making you strong and tough spiritually. You're going to be able to handle anything because you know that you already guaranteed victory and that you have this help at your side any moment, all the time, and even into an eternity. So while everybody else is stressing out where they're going, you know where you're going to go. You're going to be hanging out with me. All right, that's it for tonight. I gotta go flying tomorrow. I'm gonna go flying tomorrow, so I gotta get up early and polish my wings and go flying. No, not that kind of flying. We're gonna go fly my son's remote control airplanes. Yeah. So until then, you guys have a good night, a good day. All right. Remember, try to salvage your day. Your guys are doing awesome. Many of you guys do several salvages in a day, and it feels good when you've overcome it and you're finally at the end of the day and you look back, you're like, oh man, it started off like this, but I recovered there. And we were doing good until that happened, and I recovered that. And you can look back over your day at how many salvages you did, where you brought light into other people's lives, and it makes your life richer and fuller. You are living full, rich lives now. Much richer and fuller than you were before you came to this channel. Yes? Okay. It's because I love you guys. I miss you guys. I really do. Okay. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Okay. When you see these things begin to happen, look up. You will see me in the clouds, coming with power and great glory. When you see these, you will get caught up with me in the clouds, and you'll get so caught up that you'll join me in the air of cyberspace live on YouTube here, where I have prepared a place where we can meet. All right. You guys heard it. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Take solace in that. Lean in. Foundation. I am already back. It is for real. That's what's important for you. That's your foundation. That's for you. Okay? You are victorious. I love you. I miss you. Till my next show, I will be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?